Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Welcome to 2026, y'all. We made it. Come, we put up a good old clap our hands and everything else. I don't know how you brought your new year in, but I hope that it was safe and wonderful. Y'all, here we are. It's January the 2nd, 2026. And here we are at the Inspiration Station, y'all. And let me tell y'all something. Today marks, I'm going to say that for just a minute. Wait a minute. Let me hold on for just a minute. But I just want to say, happy Friday to each and every one of you. Probably y'all, some of y'all all have been off, and maybe some of y'all have been working, like myself. Or maybe some of you all are vacationing or on your way back home or whatever it may be. I hope that everyone is safe. I hope that you all have been doing a lot of just rejoicing and having gratitude to know that you made it to yet another year, y'all. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt like 2025 was super fast. I felt like my head was just spinning in a way because we started in January 2025 and here we are in January 2026, and it's just like, weren't we just here a year ago? We were, and it happened in a flash. But I just want to say, pay attention to your life right now, that there are things that can happen in your life in a flash, just like that. You think it's going to take so much time, you think it's going to take years and decades or whatever it is, and it can happen just like that. So I know that many of you all are coming in here right now. I'm gonna give y'all a little time, but we're gonna get right to it and get on up out of here. I want you all to continue to enjoy your Friday evening, enjoy whatever that looks like for you. And as I've said before, if you had any challenges, even as we've entered into this new year, that means nothing. You know why? Because you can overcome anything. You have before, and you will again, and you are right now. I don't know about y'all, but I spend a lot of my time. You let me know when you're coming in. Let me know how you spent your new year and things of that nature. If you were with family, with friends, all by yourself, whatever way you brought it in or how you've been spending it so far, let me know. But I know for me, I took a little a reprieve. I took a little break. And I felt guilty for just a second because I was like, I don't want to take off from work. What about my clients? And what about my meetings? And what about other things I've been working on? And what other things that I want to be adhering to? And I had to really halt for a second and just say, hey, breathe for a minute, take a break. You need to sit still for a minute. And even sitting still, I still was actively doing things, but I was resting. I was resting. And it was so needed. I didn't know that I needed to just breathe for a moment. I hadn't realized, y'all, when I even moved here to Atlanta in August, I never sat down. I didn't even really pay attention to what my house is like when I'm just sitting still because I'm always in motion. I might sit down in the living room for some time. I rarely watch TV. I clean up a lot because this is one of my things, y'all. Got to have cleanliness is next to godliness, okay? So I wanted to make sure I'm always cleaning up and things. So I pay attention to what my home looks like, but I never got a chance to just sit in my home and just kind of relish in what this means, even during the day, because anytime else, I'm just on the go, on the move. So I'm glad I got a chance to sit still, get some rest. Y'all, I took naps and it felt like I woke up and it was a whole nother day and it was just an hour, just an hour. So, I want to know how you all have been doing as you've been bringing in the new year. I don't know if some of you all have seen the reel that I put out there on actually New Year's Day, which would have been when yesterday. Well, I was saying, we hear that cliche all the time. Out with not I say out with the old and with the new, but hearing what New Year, new me. And I'm like, let's throw that in the trash because you're gonna still be the same person, but let's think of New Year, new improve me. Like I'm always improving. We're always changing. We're always evolving. We should be, right? So not so much of a new year, new me, because you should always be the core of who you are, but you should always be evolving. You should always be changing. Your years should never. I think someone told me many years ago, your years shouldn't look the same. They should not look identical. And even sometimes looking back on a few months of your life, that shouldn't look identical as well. So, again, as you all are coming in, I just want to say I'm so glad to be doing this with you all in the new year. Y'all, this has been a year for the Inspiration Station. So, can we clap it up for that? Can we give God glory for where He's brought us from? Brought us from a mighty long way with this, and it's literally just started as an idea from my producer who reached out to me, Jason Wilson. He literally was just like, we had a meeting, and I was thinking like, what does he want to talk to me about? Like, who is this too? Whatever. And I got connected with him through someone, and We had a meeting. Actually, I believe it was on Christmas. It was on Christmas of 2024. And he just, wanted to talk to me about some things. And he just let me know what he does. And then he was like, "Have you ever thought about doing a podcast?" I was like, "No, I have not. I don't want to. No." And I was like, people have mentioned it to me before, but I never really thought about doing it. But I'm one of those people. I will try something at least once. I will at least give it a try, and I won't give up easily. I'll try to see what it does and what it takes me to. And for all I know, it could be something that's going to be great and grand, and something that I end up latching on to, or something that ends up turning into something greater than what I even would have ever imagined. Even if it's something that gets me out of my comfort zone, I don't mind getting out of my comfort zone. I don't mind being a little scared. I said, scared, Lord. I don't mind having a little fear, because I'm human, but that doesn't keep me stuck or stagnant. I will try and I will keep doing it, even if it keeps exposing me to the anxious feelings or whatever. I'm going to keep doing it until I conquer it. And even when it shows up, I'm going to keep on putting those boxing gloves on and knocking it out. So I hope that many of you spend a lot of time reflecting over your years. We talked about in the last inspiration station, reflecting back over your life over the year and how well you have done. You've done an immaculate job, and you're going to do just the same as we're coming into this year so far. And let those things that I speak to you about as the inspiration is being a year doing this, of doing something I necessarily didn't want to do. I was not really interested in doing it. And look at where we are. So there might be things that are in your life that you're like, I don't know about doing that. No, I don't want to do that. And it's almost like, why do I not want to do that? For me, it was because speaking was something I wasn't always so strong in, when it came to speaking before people. But when it came to me actually like singing, acting, dancing, any type of performance, but also if I was speaking before crowds, I was okay. But then to be in front of a camera where it's like I can't see y'all visibly, so it's like, okay, I feel like I'm by myself. I always was one of those people when I had auditions or tryouts or something. I would rather be in front of a crowd of people versus three or four judges. It's like, okay, now I'm nervous. I'm nervous. So some part of me having to speak and do that with just looking in a camera was almost like, but I was like, okay, well, it's uncomfortable, but you're gonna have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with this. So I was like, let's give it a try. And you never know. So again, I'm glad to be here a year later, and letting that be a testament even to you, that what are some things that you have wanted to embark upon or may have been shying away from because you're like, I'm not sure that kind of is out of my comfort zone. That might be the very thing that you need to launch into the deep with. Okay. So we're in this new year. You get a clean slate, a fresh start. But also exercising those things that you really want to do. I'm a person who doesn't like to say I make New Year's resolutions. I've started to say I like to make New Year's executions, things that I'm going to do, that I'm going to put action to, and I'm going to give it my best to make sure I accomplish these things. So putting ourselves in a mode of action as we're moving forward into 2026. I know a number of you all are in here now, so I'm going to keep on moving, keep on stretching, but I want to say hello to everyone on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, also to the wonderful and beautiful listeners who I can't see any of y'all anyway, but that will be listening is on Spotify, Apple, Audible, and it's I always say Amazon, but y'all, Amazon and Audible are the same thing. Audible is just the extension of what people are listening on as this podcast. But I always mention Amazon. I'm gonna say that anyway because I'm used to saying it. And ain't no telling what other things that are about to come this year, for people to watch and see, the Inspiration Station. So let's dive right in, y'all. The Inspiration Station. If this is your first time here, welcome on this new year. I'm so glad that you're here with us. I hope that you have enjoyed your new year because you're going to start it with me and you're going to be stuck with me because you're not going to want to leave. And this, as y'all tell your people, y'all know, continue to share as well, but tell your people, this is your favorite time of the week, being with Josh. So, and again, if their feelings are hurt, they will be okay. But I know that this is your best time. I know, but we can just keep it between us from right now. But this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you come back. I'll continue to please share, and subscribe, to wherever on YouTube, especially because YouTube, y'all are coming in heavy every week. Every week. So I remember seeing the 4,000 people watching one time. I was just like, wow, God, okay, thank you. It's like, because you never know what you're going to be doing when you launch into something, especially something you've never done before. You never know. Just have faith. Anyway, let me reel it back in. Anyway, the Inspiration Station is just a place where we all are knowing that we are, avenues and vessels of inspiration, not just to other people, but also to ourselves. Everything that we've been through, we have a catalog that we can reach to and we can recognize and also implement how we have overcome things before, and we can put those things into action again and overcome whatever is in front of us, and also inspire ourselves to do so, inspire ourselves to achieve at a greater level, inspire ourselves to become a greater person, inspire ourselves to go beyond where we've ever been. So encouraging ourselves, motivating ourselves, inspiring ourselves. Also, the inspiration station is a place where we are open, honest, and vulnerable, not just with others, but with ourselves, because the relationship that's often neglected is what, y'all? With ourselves. Y'all, I know I had to say it fast, but I know y'all were like, Josh, come on, I didn't even get to type it, but I know you with me. I know you with me. So, GP, are you with me? Oh, yeah, we have a church. We ain't going nowhere. Let me stay focused. Okay, y'all remember Kurt Franklin back in the day? Okay. No, some of y'all don't. Okay, anyway, but also where we're in a place of not just being encouraged, inspired, or motivated, but we're encouraged, motivated, and inspired to go do something. And sometimes doing an action doesn't necessarily mean that you are implementing a plan right now or executing something, but it may be it's starting in your thoughts. Because once it starts in our thoughts, this puts us into a position of making movement in some way. And it might, again, like I said, just be in a thought, just be in your thinking. Your thinking's changing. So now this is going to change up your habits, change up how you show up, change up how you plan things, change up your goals, your objectives, anything like that. Y'all got me? Also, we're going to have people coming in, y'all, as we're at the new year. Thank God, people's schedules are clearing that have been wanting to come so bad. And I'm so thankful that people have wanted to be a part of this because, sometimes, people have their own things that they're doing and they're just like, okay, that's good. Keep doing what you're doing, but I'm not coming on there. But I'm thankful that people are wanting to come and share with us because they'll be coming to share nuggets with us and give us some good wisdom and give us some great things to carry us into the next parts and phases of our lives. So there'll be people people you'll see and be like, I can't believe they're on here. Oh my God, I'm a fan. I love them. Oh my God. Or it might be people who you meeting for the first time. And as I've always said, we are all superstars. And that's in my eyes. And that's my opinion. And I don't really care about what anybody else has to say because everybody is a superstar to me. No matter what background you come from, what status, what uh, uh, socioeconomic status you are, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. You're a superstar to Joshua Lenox. Just let's make that clear and get that out there. So, also, one other thing I want to say is I want to just thank you all for continuing to show up every Friday. I mean, y'all are rocking it out with me in these short moments that we're here together. I really appreciate that. There's going to be some changes coming, some great new updates and things that are going to be coming. So, y'all just stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and keep your ears open to just my listeners out there. But I want to jump right in. Actually, all I wanted, this is going to be just a conversational piece, y'all. I'm not giving you a lesson, but it's still going to be a lesson. But just a quick conversation piece I want to say with you. Just the title is just, This Will Hold You Over. This will hold you over. I know y'all like, this will hold us over. Josh, what you talking about? So let me tell y'all something. I don't know about you, but I know when I was growing up, whether it was myself or it was other people, if I was visiting or spending the night somewhere, and if somebody was cooking, and y'all, my mom would throw down in the kitchen. I mean, it would just, I would be sitting there in my room, like coming back down the steps, and I'm like, "Mama, you done yet?" And she's like, "No, son, it's gonna be a little time. Just give it a little time." Especially if it was like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, whatever. But most times she would just throw down anyway if it was just during the week. And I know I would be so hungry. I know what we're gonna eat. She's told me what we're gonna eat, and I'm smelling the aromas and everything. I didn't really pay attention or sit down there and watch the process of her cooking everything, but I would be anticipating like, okay, 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 are we done? Are you done yet? And sometimes I might run downstairs and I might have not had anything to eat, and I would be like, "Mama, are we almost done?" And she's like, "No, son, but you know what? Why don't you just eat a banana? This will hold you over." And I'd be like, okay, a good banana. Okay, great. Eat a banana, and then I'm still anticipating because now I'm waiting for her to be done. She might tell me it's gonna be about 2 more hours, probably. And I'm like, 2 more hours? It felt like a whole day to me. And I started to think about this just the other day, just in quiet time when I was resting. See, got it's good to rest and shut down sometimes, and shut down, but also still be actively working towards something. And I was like, you know what? I bet that's how a lot of us are. Sometimes we're anticipating things. We're on the edge, on the brink of things that we've been waiting on, and waiting 2 hours for some food that you can smell upstairs. And you can't do anything to rush it or make, I couldn't make my mom hurry up or rush anything. And plus, because she wasn't going to rush anything, because there's certain things needed a certain time and everything wasn't going to be done at the same time. Follow what I'm saying? Even though she was cooking a meal, which would have been whole, a meal that she was going to present, everything had its own timing. Some things may have taken 30 minutes. Some things might have taken an hour and a half. Some things may have taken 15 minutes, whatever it is. Everything had its own timing. But when it all came together, then she could present the meal and say, hey, Josh, it's ready. How many of y'all feel like that's where God has had you for a while? I'll raise my hand. I ain't no shame in this game. Wave your hand in the comments. Put a comment and say, that's me, Josh. You talking to me right now. How many of you have felt like you've been waiting on God for certain things and you just keep going back to him like, okay, God, are we there? Are we? It's almost like if you think about when you're in a car and as a kid or something, like, are we there yet? Like, darn, like we've been riding all this time. You said that we were going to the mall, like, but we going all these other different places, and it seemed like it's just taking forever. And why are you all of a sudden wanting to stop at somebody's house and now we have to talk to them for 3 hours and then like we were supposed to go to the mall? Why all these detours? But again, back to the food analogy. Uh, Sometimes you think about it, I'll give you a quick example. I literally had last year, which is so funny to say last year, y'all. Last year, the end of last year, actually, I had two opportunities presented to me. One opportunity was for me to be able to speak internationally. I'm just going to say that internationally to actually go overseas and speak. And I was just flabbergasted when I was asked. I was like, "To God be the glory." And I mean, I lifted my hands and I was just like, "God, thank you." I'm like, is this real? Is this serious? I also had another extension of something to do in entertainment. And I was so excited about it. And I'm like, God, thank you. Maybe this is just, I thought things were over sometimes. I didn't know if where certain things going to come. You showed me things, but I've just been like, when is that going to happen? And I got so excited about these things. And then God told me no to both. And I was like, what? Like, no, like, God, wait a minute. These are some major things. Like, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus, God. We're going to just go ahead and run with this. And he said, no, no. And so again, I know that that meant not so much where, again, when God says no, it's really, I have something better, or that's not yet. His promises are yes and amen. So even in that, it's almost like he still was saying yes to the things he wanted me to do, but he was telling me those were not my opportunities for me to do. And I was just like, but God, these are major things. And I've been praying for a long time. And, I've been trying to get back into doing things like I used to do, but better because I'm not the same. And I'm like, but God. And I had to say yes to his will. Yes, sir. I understand. I cried a little bit. I can, again, we're open, honest, and vulnerable. I cried just in a sense of being like, gosh, like it's been seemed like I've been waiting so long for opportunities like this again in my life. And you say, we're gonna pass, God? And I'm like, so again, but I also know that means that God has better opportunities. And what if that was a test of me being able to trust him? I could have easily still been like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm just gonna have to suffer the consequences, but I won't do that. Got to be obedient, first of all, and I got to trust that if God is telling me not these, that means he has something better on the way. And again, what if he was just testing my trust in him that he would have better? That if he was saying, not these, son, but hold on. I'm still, my promises are yes, my promises are yes and amen. If I sent the word out in your life, it will not return to me void. So it's got to accomplish what I sent it to do. What I'm saying is, I took that in a sense, even though that felt like a carrot being dangled or something, that's almost like God saying, let me just remind you what I have shown you in visions and dreams, but this will hold you over. This is almost like if you're waiting on that meal, and like my mom said, I'll give you this banana. It's like, let me hold your appetite over because it's coming. You're going to be able to eat this great meal that I'm preparing, but let this hold you over in the meantime. What are some of the dreams and visions you all have? You're getting so close sometimes of wanting to give up and like, is it too late? It seems like it's been too long. It seems like God has forgotten about me. But he ends up telling you to go back to the things he said to you, go back to the words you've gotten, go back to certain scriptures, or he just gives you these glimpses still to remind you, I'm gonna do what I said in your life. Don't you worry. I know you're don't get weary in well doing. I'm gonna do what I said. So let me give you a dream in the middle of the night, just to give you another reminder to say, I'm still at work. I'm still going to do it. Again, even with eating, sometimes my mom might give me a little piece of chicken to hold me over. It's like, here, just take this a little bit to hold on to. What if those are the things of God showing you a word on the back of a license plate, or He's showing you something with mute through a song? He's showing you something through a television show. Somebody comes to you and says something, and it's like, you get these little glimpses or these breadcrumbs, as I'll say, of God reminding you, I'm still going to do what I said. Even sometimes when you feel disappointed, when you feel like it's taking too long, you feel like, God, are you really hearing me? I keep praying, I keep knocking, I keep asking. I'm waiting on you. But what if the things that He has already given you are those things to say, this will hold you over? I want to crave that. I'm a curve and crave to give you that craving of your appetite of getting a little weary, feeling like your faith is wavering, that your trust is wavering. Let me give you just a little reminder to let you know I'm still at work. I'm still going to do what I said. I also remember having a dream shortly after that, those two opportunities being extended to me, and God was showing me something in the future, and I was like, okay. And I had a little bit of peace. It's almost like He's telling me, let me give you this little dream. Let me give you a small glimpse to let you know I have not forgotten. I'm going to do what I said. And it's taking a process. It's taking time. Also, maybe too, Josh, I don't want you to jump. Maybe might be something behind those opportunities that wouldn't have been good for me that I couldn't see. Or maybe it's some things He still wants to do in me before He releases me out into major things like that again. So I want to just tell each and every one of you, think about right now in your life where God has been giving you those little nudges again, or those little nuggets, or those little breadcrumbs, letting you know, here, hold on to this because this will hold you over until you get the full meal or the full picture of what I'm going to do. Because, like I've told you guys before, when we talk about a puzzle piece, excuse me, puzzle pieces where you make the border first and then you start filling it in. And I remember my grandmother sometimes, I hope she gets to listen to this because she will probably crack up at me. But we would get these small puzzles, the ones that had the several, almost like it felt like 1,000 pieces, and they were so small. We would make the border. And after she would find herself getting frustrated trying to put stuff together, she would just walk away, and then she'll come back and she might try to find one piece, and then she'll walk away again and stay away for a while. And she would do that, so she didn't get frustrated, because again, we can get frustrated in trying to get to the full picture, right? Think about it. On the outside of a puzzle box, I love to use this analogy, but on the outside of the puzzle box, you already see what the finished product is supposed to look like. And that's your example. That's the thing that is your guide. That's the thing that's leading you to get to the finished product. However, you don't have direct instructions telling you where every piece goes. So you have to take your time in trying to fill things in after you've done that border, that frame. And as you're doing that, it can get frustrating, and you might have to walk away sometimes. Go take a breather. Go reflect. Maybe go look at those dreams that you've written down. Go look at those goals you have. Go look at those. Go talk to God. Go in prayer, asking Him about the things that He's going to perform in your life. I said this too when I was writing out my goals, or excuse me, my plans that I wanted to commit to the Lord before 2026 came. I literally wrote them in a place of a child, because again, we're supposed to have childlike faith. You're supposed to go to God like a child. And as a child, we could ask Him, Daddy, Daddy, can I have? Think about you all who have kids, or you remember being a kid and you go and ask your parents for things, and can I please have this? Can I this, that, and the other? Or when somebody asks you what you wanted to be, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. Ain't even thought about the process or the challenges that it will take to get to that, but it didn't matter. You just knew that's what you wanted. So I wrote things down from a place of a child having childlike faith. And I mean, I sat down Indian style, as crisscross applesauce, whatever you want to say. I wanted to get in that posture so that I would be very specific and not feel like I was asking God for too much, or asking God for things that are too big, or that I was oblivious to His power, because He can do the impossible. So I had to come from that place. If I wasn't thinking about the process of getting what I want, what do I want? And I wrote it down, wrote everything down, typed it out, printed it out, prayed over it, had my scriptures tied to it, and I'm just like, now, God, I commit this to you. I submit my plans and things that I want to happen to you because I know that you're going to always exceed what I even imagine, what I want. You're going to exceed that. You're going to do exceedingly and abundantly above all of what I ever ask or think. So I have to leave it there. But I don't know the process. It's not to say that everything that I wrote down, God could be like, I agree with all of this, and I'm going to do all of this, but I'm going to do it in, in a way that's going to be beyond what you could think. But then I don't know what the process is to get to those things. Just as much as each of you have your own dreams, your visions, again, your goals, objectives, things you want to do, and things that God has it downloaded in you. And you feel like it's just taking a long time, or that it's just, I don't feel like I don't feel like God is really hearing me anymore. Maybe He's forgotten about me. And it's like, no, keep putting each piece of your puzzle together at your pace. But sometimes you might sit down at the table and say, you know what? I ain't getting up until I finish this puzzle. I ain't getting up. I'm gonna put a little bit more time into this. But you know that you have God gave you those dreams and visions because He knows you have the capacity to fulfill it. He's always going to give you those small reminders along the way to let you know, I'm working on it. I am going to do what I said. Don't give up on me. You can trust me. Let's activate, let's stretch your faith. Let me say this too. If we're going glory to glory in the Lord and we're supposed to get better and greater in our lives, well, you can't have the same faith level. You can't continue to believe as you did as a kid or when you were a young adult or anything like that. It's got to be increased because you want to see bigger where your faith is going to have to be bigger. So going back to the puzzle pieces, y'all, stick with me. And I'm about to be up out of here. But when you're putting those things together, you already know what the outcome is. You just don't know the steps. You don't know step by step, but it is day by day. You don't know each step, but you got to keep showing up. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying to put those pieces together because you already have been given the outcome. He's already given you the outcome, but he's holding you over with giving you certain reminders. And whether that comes through, again, dreams, visions, your pastor, family members, friends, a stranger, a license plate, a song, a TV show, an animal. I don't know. God speaks through any and everything. And even in prayer, spending time in prayer, of refreshing yourself and speaking his word back to him, also reminding him what he told you. I've done that many times. I used to feel guilty when I was younger, though. My mom would tell me, pray his word back to him. And I was like, I can't tell. I was like 10 years old. I don't want to tell God da 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 da. She's like, well, you ain't gonna get nothing answered. She was like, pray his word back to him. Put him in reminding of what he said to you, Josh. And I'm like a kid. And I would do that. And it's like I would see results from that. I will see results from that. So sometimes, again, God, you told me this, that, and the other. He might give you another key or another nudge or a reminder to where you're going or what's coming. So even as I use this example, as I'm coming up out of here, I told you this is the conversation piece tonight. But with those two opportunities that came, I could have pouted. I could have been like, dang, shoot. I had some tears because again, when I know what I've been praying for, what I've been waiting on, and I'm like, darn. But at the same time, I'm like, I've trusted God all of my life. And I know that if he's saying we're going to pass on these, he knows something that I don't. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to have opportunities that are even going to be better. And then also, like I said, could he have been testing me to say, are you gonna obey me with this? Or are you just gonna jump because you've been in a place where you haven't been in having opportunities like that in so long? Are you gonna just jump? I was like, nope, I'm not. There was a little sting, but I'm not. I trust you that it's going to be even greater than what I could ever imagine. And knowing that if those were for me, then they would have been for me. But that may have just been those signs or those things that will hold me over just to remind me that these are things you're going to do. These are just not it for you at the moment, but you're still going to do it. So what I say to each and every one of y'all, I done made myself hungry, but I mean, it's too late. I can't eat anymore. You got a cutoff time at 7 o'clock. But I want you all to hold on to what you have seen, what God has spoken, what he's shown you, what you've written down. It does not mean that those things are not coming. Just pay attention to those signs he's giving you to hold you over. Those dreams. I don't know if some of y'all are dreamers. I am. And sometimes I get those sprinkles and it gives me enough to say, okay, but at the same time, I don't want to keep going back to God like I'm doubting him. Because that's sin. I don't want to keep going back to him like I'm doubting what he said. Just like Gideon in the Bible, Gideon was like, look, if you want me to do this, let the fleece be dry on the top and wet, on the bottom, and then the other way around. So it's like he was wanted to be sure, and there's nothing wrong with being sure and wanting to petition God about things, but at some point it becomes like we're doubting him. So it's like if he's shown you the outcome of certain things, trust that he is still working behind the scenes. Just like my mom was still cooking. I didn't see all the process that it took for her to make those huge meals because I would just have to get out the way. I didn't see the process of what she was doing, but I knew things were working. I knew she was working. I knew she was preparing. So those things that are being prepared for you might be taking a little longer than you think because they're going to be it's going to be so good and it's going to be better than you could have ever expected or better than you could have ever put together. You just don't see the process and it's different components that are being prepared. And some things happen faster than others, but God wants to give you the fullness of what that is. So when he's speaking to you, in whatever way he does, let that be a thing of him saying, this will hold you over until you get the fullness. Because eating that banana, it did kind of, make me full for a while, but I had to wait 2 more hours. But when the 2 hours was up, my mother was correct. Everything was laid out. And I mean, I ate so good. And I mean, that was happened several times. It would be worth the wait. Even though I was antsy, even though I was getting frustrated, it was worth the wait. I enjoyed the meal tremendously. And it's like, all right. I got what I've been wanting and I've been waiting on. That's the same thing I'm saying to you. You're gonna get what you've been waiting on. You just gotta trust the process. Trust God in this process and knowing that it might be taking a little bit more time because there are different components that are happening at different times, but God wants to bring it all together to you at once. And sometimes he brings them to you in those pieces and saying, okay, here, you can have this part of that, and then I have some other things following up. But it might not all come at one time. It might not collide at one time or converge at one time. So I hope that y'all got something out of this. And I know some of y'all are probably ready to go to the refrigerator and get something to eat, and that's all right. But I wanted to even say, even what we're talking about tonight, let this hold you over. Let this be something that holds you over, that curbs your appetite a little bit to say, you know what Josh was talking about tonight, I think that reminds me to know that those things, those promises over my life, those things I've been waiting for, those requests I've been making known unto God, I know they're going to happen. And this is a reminder tonight to hold me over to say, you know what? I'm not going to really worry or stress myself anymore because it's still on its way and it's still going to happen. So keep activating your faith, keep believing, keep trusting God. He is not a man that he shall lie, nor the son of man that shall repent. If he says something, you can believe it. His word does not return void, but it will accomplish what he sends it to do. So y'all, I'm going to let you go. I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. I have enjoyed just sitting here with you guys. And I just want this to kind of be a conversation piece tonight, just to get your brain going. Because I know some of y'all are making plans, you're making goals, you're making your objectives, you're setting your 2026 off because it's going to be fire. I know it is. It's going to be good because mine is. I'm telling you, it's going to be some things I have never seen and never imagined that are going to happen this year. And I pray the same for you. And don't think any smaller than that. Don't think any lower than that. Keep everything up high and speak it every day if you have to. And those things that you have not seen come to pass yet, keep speaking and know that they're on the way. They're coming. Some of these things, these breadcrumbs you've been getting, have just been to hold you over. But I have a very strong feeling that a lot of you are going to start seeing the fullness and the fulfillment of what God has promised and spoken over your life this year. So please continue to share, subscribe, and like, and everything else. Share this with everybody. And if you don't, y'all, I'm going to kick you out of the room. I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. It's thousands of y'all, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. But no, please continue to share. Please continue to show up. I appreciate it. But also, more importantly, thank you for showing up for yourself. We're doing this thing together, and it's going to be greater than it ever has been. So I hope that you all have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever time y'all are watching this. I just know that I am rooting for each and every one of you. There's nothing you can't do, and there's nothing that you can't do that you have never done before that you're going to do. So you've always been great. You're just getting better, and you have embraced it. You have embraced it fully, that you've always been great, and you're just getting better. All right? I love each and every one of you. I hope that you all continue to spread love, be the love that you want to see in other people. We need the unity more than ever. We need it now more than ever. And I don't want you to get so caught up in what you're seeing around the world and thinking you just give up and like, I guess my heart gonna wax cold too. Continue to spread love. Continue to spread love. It does make a difference. It does make a difference, even if that's in something you do, something you say. If you smile, if you make somebody laugh, if you give somebody a phone call just to check up on them, send a text message, email, whatever that is, post, whatever it is, all of y'all who got pages out there, put a reel out there, put a video out there, put a post out there. Just spreading love as much as you can because we need it now more than ever. And it starts with you. So I love y'all again. Get off of here, stop messaging and typing so I don't know. We're done. I love y'all too. But I will see y'all next Friday at what time? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And all my international people, I'm learning. I know a lot of time zones. I just get them confused sometimes, and I don't want to proclaim or state that out here, and I end up making myself sound foolish. So I'm going to learn more, though, and I'm going to learn also some other ways of speaking in these other languages that I know some I don't. So I can make sure I'm spreading love to y'all as y'all continue to come in all over the world. So to God be the glory. Have an amazing rest of this evening. I will see y'all next Friday. Have a safe weekend as well. Stay warm, stay cool, wherever you are, because the weather can be totally different. It's been a little chilly here in Atlanta, but it was a little up and down at first. 1 minute I didn't know what to put on shorts and or sandals, which I ain't doing it anyway, or put on some a sweater and a jacket and whatever else. So I'll talk to y'all soon. It's a blessing to do this with y'all. Welcome to 2026. It's going to be a year like never before. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.